Okay, what's up guys? So for today's video, we are going to be making a JavaScript calculator. We're going to be making it with HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript. So it's the basics of the basic. So let me just show you guys what it's going to look like. So this is what it's going to look like. Not entirely like this, but then we're just trying to get the whole functionality and everything. So if we click on like 7 plus 6 now and then equals to, we get our answer, and then we can clear and stuff like that. So it's going to be very basic, very basic. So for those of you who are new to the channel and do not know who I am, well, I'm just a guy who loves to code and to code for fun, and then to make. I just love making stuff with JavaScript especially. So at least I just love to code. That's it. So in this video, I'll show you a couple of things. So I'll show you guys some new tricks to use for your JavaScript projects. So you guys should just try and watch to the end. And also, this tutorial is for it's not for a complete beginner, so not for someone who hasn't written a single line of code before. I expect you to know at least the basics of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS for you to completely grasp what I'm doing. So if as I'm coding, you decide to code along, if I'm going too fast because I'll be doing my normal pace, and if it's too fast for you, you just try to reduce the playback speed or increase it however you like. So let's go on. So I have my calculator folder here, created a folder for calculator. So I'm just going to go ahead and open it with code, Visual Studio Code that is. So I've already put some code inside here, but it's something I'll explain it to you. So I put the boilerplate. I put the boilerplate, and then I added a div. I created a container div, give it a class container, and then inside that container I created another class, another div called screen. I give it a class of screen, and inside this div of class screen, I created another div of class text. And this is going to be we're going to store our values of whatever it is we calculate, and then our buttons. So this class buttons, so what it is basically this. It's just going to be this whole thing, that class buttons. And then inside the class buttons we have a bunch of rows, and inside this bunch of rows we have a bunch of buttons. So look at it like this. This is our buttons container, and then these are our rows, our various rows like this, and then inside these rows we have buttons inside them. Yeah. So let's go into our styles. So in our styles, we give our container the following styles. We give the height of 600 pixels, a width of 30%, margin auto, background color white smoke, margin top. So I'll go up and then open this particular file. Yeah, so this is what it's going to look like. So for our container div, as you can see, height of 600 pixels and width of 30%. It's all here, height of 600 pixels and then the width of 30%. Then we gave it a margin auto, and then top margin top to push it from the top down, so it doesn't end up touching. So it doesn't end up touching the whole screen. Now, as you can see here. So moving on to the next one, we have for our screen div over here. Our screen div has the following styles: height 30%, width 100%, and so on. And then we gave it a display of flex and then justify content. And so what this does is just it puts our content here at the end. I didn't want to use floats because things just get messy when you use floats. So I use display flex and then flex end to put our text here. Then the next thing is our buttons. So this whole div that contains our various buttons. So our buttons container. So gave it the following styles. So the only thing special here should be this gap and then justify content space between. So what this gap does, so see, look at our buttons container, right? So we gave it a gap, and inside this buttons container we have rows. So these are the rows inside the buttons container. So we gave it a gap of 20 pixels, which means from here to here there's a gap of 20 pixels. So it applies it to every single one of them, and then space between. So there's going to be space in between them. And now the next thing is our rules. Our rules just basically display flex, justify content space between, align item center, and then width of 100%. Then our buttons in our rules just increase the font size, then give the border radius, and then a font width. So that's all for our styling. So now the next thing is to just give it proper functionality, because now right now we're just clicking the buttons and then nothing is happening. So we go into our calc.js. So we make sure that we import. So we link up our index with our calc.js. So how we do this? We just add script, and then script, and then give it an src. So the name is calc.js. So just to test whether it's working, so we let just run empty alert. So yeah, it's working. It's linked up properly. Now what we want to do is we want to get each and every button here. So we want to get all these buttons. So how can we do this? Well, we can just use, so let's say it's cont buttons, then document the get element by class name. So get element by tag name, actually by tag name, and then the name of the tag is button. So why are we using by tag name? We are using by tag name because there's going to be there are multiple buttons, so we want to loop through all of it and then add event listeners on them. So now let me comment to listing on all buttons. So make a for loop listing through all of them. So let's we'll use and an array over there is going to be buttons, and then we'll call it button. So let me explain this again. So created a for loop and said let I equals to 0, I is less than buttons dot let. Since this document will get element by tag name, buttons gets us a list of every single tag that has a button. So every single tag that is a button, and then we increment our loop. Then inside it, we created a constant which is button, and then button is equals to buttons at position I. So if it's the first one, it's going to be position 0, and then we can now use it here. So you can say button to add event listener, which is going to be a click. Then anonymous function. So as we add the click event listener, and then we also add our function. So in this anonymous function, what we're going to do is just throw an alert when a button is clicked, an empty alert button. So go back there, you see it throws an alert. So if we click on this, it throws an alert. So that's working well. So the next thing we want to do is, rather than throwing an alert now, we want whatever we type here to appear on the screen, just like what we did here. If we type 7, it appears here on the screen. We type like that. So we're going to do that now. Now, what we should do is, let us get this text here, and we use this ID. So call this screen text. So it is equal to document dot get element by ID, and then the element is text, right? Yeah, it's text. So you get the element by ID text. So now when we click on the button, right, we want to set this screen text. It's inner text. So now look at it like this. This this is the screen. This place is the screen. So whatever we type here, what all this thing you see inside here is inner text. This is the screen area, and then this is its inner text. So you want to change that to whatever we type here. So now we see screen text, the inner text is equals to button. That is what we clicked. Dot inner text. So that button's inner text, they'll make it to be equals to our screen's inner text. So if you check that now, that should work. So whatever we type here is going to be that. Now, we don't want it to just keep on typing what we just keep on putting what we type or click. I want it to, so if you press 7, okay, press 7, press 8, it adds 8, so it's going to be 78 like this. So press 7 and 8, 7 and 8, it's going to be 78, not just 7, 8, stuff like that. So what we're going to do is I want to create string, so let's see, let's screen text message. Let's call it message. Just instantiate it here. Okay. So we're going to, if we want to add to already existing text. So if we want to add to, so we click 7 and then we want to add it to this. So we're going to use a method which is called concat. So we'll get our screen text. Let's comment this out for now. We get our screen text, then its inner text should be equals to the screen text or inner text dot concat. So we want to concatenate it. So concatenation, for those who don't know, is just like adding two strings together, adding two separate strings together. So I'm going to add this string, concat this string with the inner text of our button. So we say button the inner text. So if we do that now, we should add whatever we type there. You see, so it's working now. Now we want to remove this initial thing here. So we can just come over here and then just leave it empty, and then if you go back there, 7, 8, 9, and so next thing to do is clear. Let's create this refers to clear, so you click on clear. It's going to clear the screen and not appear as a text instead. So now I want to put a constraint here. Check that if the button the inner text is not equal to C, which is what we wrote, small c or capital C. Yes, capital C. So if it's not equal to C, then we can do the whole concatenation and the rest. So you see now, so it's not adding C like it did before. Now for if it's C, else if it's C, so we want to clear our screen text. So I'll create our screen text to empty. Now what's wrong? Oh, I see what I did there. I didn't put it. So we'll set it to empty. So as we type, then we press clear, set it to and it removes it from the screen. Now the next thing we should do is calculations. So how do we do that? Well, there are various ways, but then I'm going to use this. So I'm going to use a method which is called eval. So when we click enter, instead of it to add enter, we want to calculate whatever we put. So if we put 5 plus 5 and then equals to calculate it for us. So we should also add an if else here, an else if else or else. So if else if button text the inner text is equal to equals to. So now we do not want to do that. We do not want to concatenate it, but rather we want to set the screen text or inner text to evaluate the screen, what was on the screen. So eval is a JavaScript method that you can pass in a string now. So say if you pass in a string as 2 plus 2 and you pass it into this eval, it's going to evaluate it and then return the value. So here it's going to be 2 plus 2 equals to 4 and return it as an integer. Yeah. So let's check that out. So 7 plus 8. Oh, that's not working. Okay. Okay, I think we should add this condition here. So if it's not equal to C or button the inner text is not equal to, yeah, so it should not concatenate it. Then we should remove this here and then put it as a separate if statement. So if the button does inner text is equals to this, you should evaluate it. Yes. So 7 plus 7. Wow. Let's check what that is. So log evaluate screen text. 4 plus 8. Oh wow. Oh, okay. We didn't add the inner text. So let's see if that works. So 7 plus 8. Okay. Hmm. If I did calculate like 20. Hmm. What could be wrong here? So yeah, let's check something. Okay, so this is not working. Well, let's just nest it. Let's just nest it. So button. Let's copy it. So after we check for whether the importance in our text is C to clear, so we should also check if the buttons in our text is sorry is equal to, so no, it's not equal to this. Then we should concatenate it. So I'm going to next this. So we should concatenate it. Okay. So we'll go back and check. So one, yeah, so it didn't work. It didn't work. Yeah. So let's try it again. So 7 plus 17 plus 2. Let's say 2 is equals to 19. So now we have the basic functionality, which is adding. So now you see if we type again, it's just going to add it. So what we want is that after we press equals to, right, and we see our answer, the next time we type, we want it to start from the beginning. Okay. So what we're going to do here, so how do we tackle that? Okay, so if it's equals to, you evaluate the answer and then reset screen text. Okay, no, let's tackle clear first. Tackle clear first. Oh, okay, so if it's clear, okay, we've done clear. Hmm. Okay, so let's create a variable and call it equal press false. then we'll set it to false. So what we're going to do with this is that if equals to is pressed, then if equal pressed is true, right? So it means that the next time we're typing, we should be typing on a clean slate, right? So here we set equals pressed to be true. Then over here, when we're concatenating, cut this out. So if equals pressed, so right instead guys, instead of writing if equals to true, what we can do is say if equals pressed. So whatever is here, if it's true, okay, then what we have in our if is going to run, but if it's false, it's not going to run. Instead of writing if equals pressed is equals to blah blah blah, you can just write it with if equals pressed. So if equals pressed, we want to set our screen text, the inner text, to to empty, and then start concatenating again. So else if it's not pressed, then we just concatenate normally. So let's check that out. So 8 plus 8 is equals to 16. So next time we press, it should clear. Voila. So it's working now. So oh, okay, that's a problem. Okay, I think what we should do is after we've cleared the screen, if equal pressed, after equal pressed, then to set equal pressed back to false. Equal pressed to be taken back to false. So let's check this. 7, 9. Okay, so it's working perfectly. 36 times 8. You can clear screen. So there you have it, the basic functionality for calculator. Well, it's very basic, so it should be easy to implement for anyone. So I'll just run through this code again. So here we are getting the buttons through its tag name, and then we're getting screen text through its ID. Then we create a value equal pressed to check whether we've pressed the equals to button. Then we are going to listen to on all the buttons through a for loop. So say for let I equals to 0, so we start from 0. Then I is less than buttons dot let. Since this buttons variable, it's storing a list of every element which has the tag name buttons. So we loop through it. So buttons dot length, then we increment I plus plus. Then we create a constant button which stores the button at position I. So then on that with that button, we add an event listener to it, which is a click event, and then we run this function every time the button is clicked. So if button dot inner text, if the button's inner text, which is C, like for now, which is C, that is the button's inner text. So if the button's inner text is not equals to C, so if it's not equals to C, then we should check if the button's inner text is not equals to. Yeah. Then if it's not equals to, let's move this console log. If it's not equals to, what we should do is check if equal pressed. So if we've pressed equals to before, then we should set the screen text or inner text to be empty, and then we should concatenate whatever we type. Then we now set our equal pressed back to false. So if equals to hasn't been pressed, then whatever we are typing, wherever we are clicking, is just going to concatenate it, and then it's going to store it now screen text dot inner text. So after all that, So if clear button wasn't pressed, so if clear button was pressed, then you should set the inner screen text inner text to be empty, which gives you that clear functionality. Then last but not the least, if press equals to, so if button dot inner text equals to the equals to sign, what you should do is the screen text or inner text should be equal to the evaluation of what was typed on the screen to the screen. So 7 times 8 is, this is what is typed on the screen. So if you press this equals to now, right, it's going to store the evaluation of this in a screen in text screen or inner text. So if you press equals to, boom, it stores what was evaluated, yeah, to the screen inner text. And then basically that's all. So this is a very basic it's a very basic calculator, giving you the basic functionalities you need. Yes, so if you make your own calculator, feel free feel free to share it with me. My social media is in description. You can just send it to me so I can check it out. Or if you would like to check out my code, so I'll drop a link in the description so you guys can go to GitHub and then download the code. So that's about it. So if you like this video or it was helpful to you anyway, please make sure you like and subscribe. And also from now on, guys, so whatever video I'm making, I'm going to make the background to be about it. So let me know if you guys like this. So I like it, sure. So peace, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share my videos. And also support me so that I can make similar videos to this. Thank you and peace. Also, guys, for those of you who are interested in what I did here in this whole, so I created a phone like structure, and then this is currently showing my current battery percent. So presently it's 100%, and then this fills up. So if my battery drops any lower, it's going to reduce as well as this percentage here. So this is my current time right now. So I'm going to be making another tutorial on how you can make this whole thing. So it's going to be called a phone calculator simulator. So if you press this button now, it's going to go back to home screen. Though I haven't implemented that functionality yet, but if you press this button, right, you press this button, it's going to take you back to your home screen, and then you get the phone icons, you see them appear over here. So if you like me to make a tutorial about this, drop drop your thoughts about it in the comment section, so I'll get ready for that tutorial and then I'll see you there. I'll do that now.